Okay, so let's start and the other attendant could join later on. Welcome to this webinar of New EcoSmart project, this sustainability webinar named Training as a Pillar for Innovation. It's a pleasure to have all of you here, especially for all the presenters that you will meet later on and will present a very innovative and disruptive project related to training as a pillar for innovation. So it could be a pleasure to know more and to try to make a network here to discover how training could support us for social innovation and to also boost entrepreneurship and other skills. Just before starting, I would like to maybe explain why are you here or in which framework this webinar is developing. Concretely, this is the New EcoSmart project. That is a project that my organization, CETEN, is coordinating, and is a pioneer initiative of European Social Fund calls that has the objective of trying to revive rural areas and empower adult plus 45 years old SMEs and also microfield through social innovation for also boosting twin transition. The consortium is made of different partners. As I mentioned, CETEN is the coordination that we are from Spain. Also, we have in Spain CETIC, Amuebla, and the Town Hall of Yecla. And then we had two partners in Italy, CEIPES and Unina. And from the Portugal side, we have Adelo and Sign for Europe. One of the objectives of our project is to try to expand our ecosystem by inviting new stakeholders and social innovation communities. Also, we believe that the disseminate project results and outcome could also promote and find new synergies for our project, but also for others. And this is one of our reasons to organize this webinar today and also engage more people. Just before sharing with you the agenda of today, just like key tips or key instruction for our webinar of today, please try to be muted almost all the time to try to not make noise while people is presenting. Also, you have the chat for post question, and of course, you could raise your hand during the question and answer section, or even though during all the meeting to ask whatever you need. The webinar is also being recorded. I hope that it could be fine for everyone. The first reason for the recording is the justification with the European Commission, and the second one is because our consortium will take note later on about the feedback and the information that has been distributed today. Also, I just invite to you, if you are promoting your attendance to this webinar in your social media, to also mention our profile, our New EcoSmart profile that is in LinkedIn. And just before giving the floor for the first part of our section, that is European project supporting innovation through training, we are going to have 5 projects: Priority 45, Rurality CRM, DLBC Rural, and it as the 5 projects that we are going to allow today to present their results. Later on, we will move for a question section. And for the second part of our webinar today, we are going to have an interactive section. We are split you into rooms that I will explain later on in more detail, but basically one section will discuss training in rural areas and the other one training in adult plus 45. So that will be the 2 sections, and you could choose whatever you consider better for you. Finally, we will have like a summary and conclusion of this interactive session, and we will close the event 1 hour and a half after. So let's move. I don't want to speak more, and I will give the floor to the projects. As I mentioned, we are going to present now 5 projects, European projects that are supporting innovation through training. The first one is Priority 45 project. It's from Sign for Europe, and I think that Ines will explain it.
Hi, Almudena. Thank you so much for the invitation. It's very nice to be here and also to have the chance to meet another project. So, can you see my screen,
Yes.
my presentation? Perfect. So, Priority 45 is a project dedicated to promote employment of 45 plus adults through a disruptive training approach. And um, we are actually, I'm here on behalf of Shine to Europe, and we have been working on this SHAFE approach, which means smart, health, age-friendly environments. And we have been trying to take this approach on every project that we have. And this is also the case for P45. So just to briefly go to Priority 45, we are a consortium of some partners, as you can see here on the right. Enchant Europe is actually the coordinator, and we also work with CETEM from Spain, with SAPES from Italy, LORS from Slovenia, and Institute of Entrepreneurship and Development from Greece. So we identified the needs of this target group first, and we noticed that, and the reason also behind this project is that 45, the target of 45 plus is one of the most neglected target groups in organizations. And at the same time, they're very less likely to create new business or to change jobs or even to find a new job when they are in an unemployment situation. At the same time, and this is also connected to these parts, they also have to be prepared for these constant changes that happens in the current labor context, even more today. So lifelong learning is seen here as a very important tool for this. Simultaneously, we also identified that there is also a need to create common methods and competencies between adult education offers and also the performance and resilience of companies, because usually we can find a gap between these two. So we have set these four target groups that you can see here. We have adults 45 plus, which are our main target group, but we also have small, medium enterprises, vocational educational trainer providers, and also research centers, regional development agencies, among others. And the main results that we have on this project is a joint curriculum focused on the needs of this target group, a virtual course, then a digital discovery tool, also to promote, trying to promote self-reflection mainly, and also Blueprint, which is mainly sustainability framework for cooperation between stakeholders. So going to the virtual course, you can see here, you can access this through the website, which is here, priority45.eu. And we have been focused on 5 main modules. So the first one on resilience, and you can see here that we have different learning units for each one of the modules. I hope it's not small. But we also have the module growing with others, getting organized, critical and innovative thinking, and also learn to learn. On this virtual course, you have 3 options to access it. Whether you can access all course, which is in total 50 hours, or you can do half of the course, or you can use it as a shopping list. I want to choose this part first and then the other one. Every time you finalize the learning pathway, you will receive badges and certificates. You can find 40 interactive activities. You can also find some video appeals to explain some of them, to support some of the learning units. And this is available in English, Portuguese, Spanish, Italian, Greek, and Slovenian. As for the blueprint, we have actually defined based on some needs previously. We have defined these 5 priorities that you can see here. So to support or promote lifelong learning, also based on the needs previously identified, align adult education with the needs of the labor market, raise awareness of the importance of educating adults 45 plus, combat age discrimination, and reinforce professional and digital skills. And this blueprint and these priorities have been already validated by 15 organizations. And the main goal is that this will be adapted for a memorandum of understanding that will be signed by 30 European organizations that to see that we can have here a stronger commitment to make these changes come into reality. And in this blueprint, there, as you can see here, it's highlighted the objective, the outcomes, some actions to be implemented are provided, and we also provide examples of good practices. And I think that's it. I hope I didn't, I was on time. And if you want to join the Memorandum of Understanding, we will also be very happy if you could do it. You can contact us. If possible, it would be, you can contact us through the website or through the digital media, or also through me or my colleague Juliana, which is actually almost also very much connected to the project. So thank you so much. And I think that's it.
Thank you, Ines, for your presentation. I have some questions, even on the chat, but let's go for the full presentation, the 5 presentation, and later on we will go for questions. So thank you so much. Let's move for the second one. The second one is DVLC Rural Projects. It's an initiative that is going to be presented by David Canaveira, if I'm not wrong, from the Federação Minha Terra. So the floor is yours, David. Thank you so much for being here.
Hello. Can you see the presentation?
Yes.
Let me put it bigger. So, hello, thank you for the invitation. My name is David Canaveira. I work at Minha Terra, the Portuguese Federation of Local Development Associations. I'm not going to present a project, but rather a methodology, an approach, a development tool that supports projects in rural areas, which is CLLD, the DLBC in Portuguese, which means community-led local development. So the CLLD is a rural development methodology that is inspired by the leader approach, links between actions for the economic development of rural areas that emerged in the early 90s. It's an instrument promoted within the framework of European regulations that is based on bottom-up development strategies that are designed and implemented by local partnerships of private and public stakeholders. Those partnerships select and support projects and also promote their own initiatives. The main purpose is to support economic investments, aiming at develop the local economy in rural territories. There are also qualification and training activities, cooperation, actions to promote equality and active citizenship, actions to preserve or to enhance rural heritage, natural, cultural, built heritage, and that's it. So partnerships are very important, are a key aspect of this approach. The local partnerships that implement this strategy are called LAGs, local action groups. Those partnerships, in Portugal, there are currently 60 rural LAGs recognized, and these partnerships include more than 3,000 organizations. You can see some of the most important, the most frequent organizations that are present. Minha Terra is the federation that gathers all the local development associations that manage these legs. Some of the most important achievements. So since 91, when it started, Leadership LLD has contributed to the empowerment of local actors and improved networking and governance at local level in rural areas. The legs have supported more than 33,000 projects, helped creating more than 21,000 jobs, an investment of more than 1.9 billion euros in the Portuguese rural areas. So what do those projects consist? In the diversification of activities in rural areas, in expand businesses, in help small-scale farmers in their activity, to recover and enhance heritage, to help guarantee basic service, to foster cooperation, qualification, vocational training, etc. So why is this approach innovative? So 30 years after its creation, Leaders CLLD continues to be an innovative approach to rural development. Its implementation based on bottom-up strategies, on partnerships that represent the local interests, its territorial focus. So each territory it has a specific strategy. The supports, the interventions are multisectoral. There's a key aspect that is proximity with promoters. So legs are very close to the promoters of the projects. And there's also another key aspect that is cooperation and networking. What are the main challenges? One of the most difficult, the most challenging is the standardization of the measures of the interventions that are supported by the legs. Another question is that because it's an instrument that is regulated by European and national policy frameworks, the gaps between programming periods are always complicated, are always difficult. There are always delays in the start of the new strategies, the revisited strategies, the updated strategies. There's readers funding. There are also a growing aversion to risk and constraints to innovation, growing bureaucracy and administrative requirements and difficulties in measure the added value of the approach other than the statistical data. Some conclusions or ways to overcoming the difficulties. There's a need to resume a true bottom-up approach with the measures defined locally, attending the community's needs, potentials, aspirations. There's a need to recognize the legs as agents of transformation that can respond to the current and future challenges. There's a need to use this approach, this methodology as a democratic tool to bring closer the European Union closer to its citizens. There's a need to support more collaboration activities and networking to simplify the administrative requirements because we are talking about small projects and initiatives, and also to develop appropriate tools to measure the added value of Leaders CLLD. For more information, I invite you to visit our website at minhaterra.pt. Also at the EU level, you can visit LRDS, which is a federation that gathers all the networks of the leg networks in Europe. And for a more institutional, more official information, you can visit the UCAP network. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. Thank you for your presentation on this long strategy since the 90s. I think it's a really good work that you are doing in Portugal and even though in other countries, but not closely with you. But thank you so much for your work and for the presentation. Let's wait for the question until the end. Okay, so let's move for the third presentation of today. Done by Tapis, completely by Vittorio Riponi, that he will explain GRM project.
Thank you, Almudena. Good morning, everybody. Give me 1 second, I will share the screen. Okay. Can you see it now?
Yeah, it's shared.
Okay. I can't see my own screen now.
Now, yes.
It should be in presentation mode now.
Yes, Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Today I will present you briefly the Yorame project, which is going to be concluded in the next month. We are at the very end of it, and this project is about youth entrepreneurship in rural areas and the Mediterranean countries. The project aims to increase the capacity to provide learning opportunity for entrepreneurial skills of the organization working with youth in these areas. And as a result, the project aimed to improve the entrepreneurial skills of the rural youth of Mediterranean region, and particularly in rural areas. Declining it in specific project goals. The first, for sure, was again to improve the capacity of the organization working with the young people according to the Intercomp framework, which, if you don't know yet, I will briefly present you better later. And then, of course, this was done through the promotion of non-formal learning activities such as mentoring. We will see it later better. And targeting young people with fewer opportunities, such as the ones from rural areas, and training them and guiding them to the entrepreneurial skills. Finally, another more specific goals coming from the general one was the support of the development of youth work in the countries involved. The consortium was composed by 6 organizations. We have an innovation hub from Greece, a vet center from Spain, DEFOIN. Then we have the Mediterranean Youth Foundation based in Egypt, the MOIF, and from Tunisia we have the Farhat Haited Institute for Research and Democracy, and finally the Palestinian Consultative Staff for Developing NGOs, and of course us, the CHIPES, which are the International Center for the Promotion of Education and Development, so all countries on the Mediterranean Sea. The target of this project addressed was, of course, youth workers, job counselors, organization for youth work, but generally young people from rural areas and in the countries involved, and of course other relevant stakeholders such as municipalities and organization in the area. So the key achievement here on the right, if you want know some more on the Intercomp, you have the QR code, you can scan it, or I can give you the link later in the chat. Anyway, the key achievement of this project was first the realization of the Youth Rural Entrepreneurship Training Program, which included also a mentoring program. Of course, the previous research on youth rural entrepreneurship, but one of the pillar was the Entre TOT, which is basically the training of trainers according to the Intercomp framework, which was central to this project. And then we held a pilot session with potential youth entrepreneurs, and there was a national contest in each country with 18 winners. Why 18 winners? Because again, no, sorry. Okay. See more in detail the achievement, the results achieved. We see how this training program involved 60 young people, so 10 from every country, and aim to develop their ideas and their proposal, coming to help financially through also this mentoring program, and to realize at least 18 of these ideas coming from the 60 young people trained. So if these were the short-term results, in the medium long term, the objective were to have at least the half of the business created still running, and financially solid, we can say. And on the other side, another objective in the medium term was to include these training entrepreneurial skills in the daily regular activities of the organization involved. Last, in the long term, the expected impact achievement is that the enterprise created both during the project duration and afterwards contribute to stabilize the young local population with the final objective of tackle the population in this area. Again, when we try to sum up the most innovative aspects and the aspects which deal with training for innovation, we see how the nature of project itself aims to address the population of the area, providing and the tools for the creation of sustainable business, which again give an opportunity to fight the population. And to do this, we used non-formal learning and non-formal methods, such as the mentoring program and the contest, and of course everything referred to this Entrecomp framework. Let me know if you want to see again the framework, or I will send you the link. Confronting with the project managers involved, because I was actually not in the direct implementation, the main problem was found actually was also a bit unexpected more in the European countries, especially in Italy, actually, where the problem was to involve the people of the direct target group, which was the youth in this case, so from 18 to 30, because actually this was not considered with the young entrepreneurs in the areas, and it should be deepened, this aspect, but it should be related to several factors, such as the average age, which is higher in which people live home, but also the general aging and the population of the areas, and also a lower availability of resources for young people in this case. So it was observed this gap between the wanted target and the target founded. It was founded, but it was pretty hard. If you want to know some more, you can scan this QR code again, or I will send you the link in the chat. Thank you for your attention. I will stop sharing.
Thank you, Vittorio. Thank you for the presentation. I think that the reflection of the national contents and how, for example, Spain could find entrepreneurship quite young in rural areas, I think it's something to discuss and think about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's move for the next one. Let's go for ruralities. Covadonga, I think the floor is yours.
Thank you, Almudena. I'm glad to be here speaking about ruralities. I'm sharing the screen. 1 minute. I don't know if you can share my screen.
Yes.
Yes, perfect.
So, sorry, Covadonga, just if you could do full screen, could be perfect. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I'm Covadonga. I'm a project manager in CTIC. I'm one of the colleagues of Kika, who is the person who are leading the NES project here in the center. So I would like to speak about ruralities. Ruralities is a Horizon Europe project who starts in 2022. Ruralities is a project whose main objective is to improve the quality of life in rural areas by seeking mechanisms to combat the population, providing training and digital skills, and offering the opportunity to test advanced solutions applied to the farming and agriculture. We are in 6 censuses across 5 countries in Europe. But what is a census? A census is an abstract entity that represents a specific rural region in terms of its social, economic, and ecological dynamics. In this project, each census in Europe have their own objective. Design and validate innovative solutions to address local challenges using different living labs as demonstrates and replicating these solutions in other areas and regions in Europe and in other parts of the world. Why? Because I was explaining in the next slide. The consortium of ruralities consists of 88 different partners, research centers from different fields, technology, agriculture, livestock, energy, private companies of different sectors, universities and other training centers with different knowledge, municipalities and other governmental organs. But ruralities is not a common project because one of the first initiatives of ruralities are linked with Africa. Right, this is one of the first projects in Europe with a Pan-African approach. Part of the initiatives, tools, training sessions, which are being tested in different areas of Europe in the last year of the project, will be deployed in different countries in Africa. Part of the fundings of the project belongs to the project. The findings of this project are a part saved to this implementation in Africa. So speaking about the consortium, I would like to speak shortly about the Asturian consortium. In Asturias, we have our own census, the census number 5, launched by 4 partners. CTIC, my company, a technology center. Reader is the Asturian Rural Development Network. ASINCAR is a research center for the agri-food sector. And this group is a consultancy linked to rural areas. He developed different solutions in terms of government, procedures, and all these things. In our census, we count on 2 living labs or demo sites. One of them, ASINCAR Food Pilot Plant. In this pilot plant of ASINCAR, people from different areas of Asturias who has farms or who practice agriculture can test different solutions using their tools, their machines, and creating different proof of concepts before acquiring this kind of solution. It's a good way to test first the solution, and after that, if all is okay, they can buy the machine or the tool specific for their need. And on the other hand, we have our own demo site here in Cetic. In Cetic, we have 2 centers, the headquarters in Gijón and another rural center in Peón, Cetic Rural Tech. And here we have different solutions all applied to rural area. We have sensors in the ground, an energy sustainable plant with a photovoltaic plant with our local community energy. We have different solutions to combat against the fire in the forest, and we have different projects. And in all these projects, the particularities, the neighbors of Peón, of the valley, are involved in the project. They participate in an active way. They attend to different training sessions as part of the development of the solutions in the area. In this slide, you can see the project key achievement in a global way, but I would like to highlight something additional related to the work in the census. In Asturias, with the ASINCAR Food Plant and the Cetic Rural Tech Center, We have 2 active living labs, a living labs with a long history and very active with a high engagement with people. And for these reasons, we have the experience in training, a strong connection with rural communities, and currently we are training other European partners in the project to help them to establish their own living labs, detecting their needs, the way of set the pillars of the living labs to be focused on the agriculture part, the farming, to increase the digital dexterity of the people, different things. In the part of the innovation, I have 5 main topics. The first one, the advanced technological integration. In the project, we try to use technologies like IoT or blockchain to optimize agricultural resources and improve the traceability in the rural supply chains, the origin of a piece of apple or whatever, and all the traceability till the tree to the supermarket, for instance. And this increase the amount of money who receive the people and these things. In other part, the creation of the rural hubs, relatives hubs, is the similar to the living labs. Innovation and training centers in the rural areas with participatory spaces to test solutions tailored to local contexts. Different solutions related to technology or to different machines, tools, to try to enclose these solutions to the people. The rural training and the empowerment training programs. We have different training programs from people to try to increase the technological skills, sustainability, to explain innovative business models to try to set the population in the rural areas and combat the population. And always with the emphasis on a practical learning. We try to set this knowledge to the people, but always with a practical part. They can touch the solutions, they can learn with different exercises and these things. The fourth point, climate and economic sustainability. In this point, the promotion of the sustainability agricultural practices and eco-friendly business models using different kind of products. Here in Peón, we have a climate simulator and people can test in different ecological products to combat against the different plagues. And they can use these products to evaluate the level of damage of the sun, of the different plagues in the plants. And the other the last one point of innovation is the Europe and African collaboration. The knowledge and the technology will be transferred between Europe and Africa, focus on the co-creation of solutions and increase the rural development in these parts of Africa. We have another challenge in this part, and the most of the parts of Africa in the rural areas has not internet connection, and this part will be probably more difficult in the last part of the project. In the part of challenge, I think that the most challenging part of the project is finding solutions to the identified challenge in different areas, which are few but highly demanding. For instance, addressing the population in rural areas, we are trying to foster entrepreneurship, creating jobs, improve the services to attract and retain the residencies. Is the most challenging part of the project, I think, because in these rural areas, the population are very old and it's very difficult to set young people in these areas. We try to explain that live in the rural area is possible, is comfortable and full of opportunities. We are trying to integrate in local communities into the technological innovation models. These technological knowledge are more available to people in cities because there are a lot of different training centers, different companies with a lot of knowledge, different spaces who take contact with the technology, but in the rural areas it's very difficult. And in some, for instance, a good point is the collaboration between the partners and the different stakeholders in the rural areas, because we try to speak with the people in the rural areas, people who are living in the rural areas, but on the other hand, with the stakeholders. Stakeholders are people who has very important companies in the rural area. In Spanish, we name these companies as empresas tractoras, companies who are so important in the areas, who offers a high quantity of job and a quality job. 200 people are working in these areas, and probably if these companies are out of these areas, probably a lot of people who are living in this rural area move to the cities and to other parts to look a new job. So to wrap up, I would like to see that Ruralities is a highly ambitious project aimed at improving the quality of life of people in rural areas. It's focused on the creation of new job opportunities. Providing training is one of the most important things in the project. Bringing technology closer to these communities, and ultimately working to retain the population in these regions, all while progressing sustainability and combat the global warming. All the solutions are very conscious with the environmental and with the nature. The knowledge gained through this project, we also have the chance to be implemented in various projects of Africa, supported by the project funds dedicated to these initiatives. So if you would like to know more about the project, you can follow us in our website, contact with the coordinator of the project, or follow us in the different social media. And if you have another kind of question related to with the living labs or with the kind of training sessions we are creating, you can write me. This is my email, and I'm glad to help you with your questions. Thank you.
Thank you too much, Covadonga. Thank you for the presentation. Let's move quickly to the last one. Carlos Chiatti from 8ITA is here, so the floor is yours.
Thanks, Almudena, and sorry for the misunderstanding. I received the fake news about the canceling of the meeting, so you will apologize me if I'm not using the template that you provided for the presentation. My role here is today to introduce you to an Italian national initiative, which is called AGIT. AGIT basically it's research, but at the same time a networking project, which is basically involving, sorry, I'm trying to share my whole screen, which I'm not sure. Okay, now I think I did. Not a project aimed at improving the network of the research institute that in Italy are working in the field of aging. Again, apologies for not using the template. I'll try to stick to the time. I have 5 minutes, and I will introduce you this network. Basically, it was an opportunity given by the European Resilience and Recovery Fund. We received we were entrusted with the task of strengthening the research networks in the field of aging in Italy. So we partnered across all the country, and we brought together a number of top leading research institutes in the field of aging. And this means we brought together biologists, gerontologists, clinicians, sociologists, people working in demography and all the different areas of science to work together in the field of aging research. The task was performed by identifying 10 challenges related to aging, which can be seen as 10 different research streams on which over 1,000 almost now researchers, they basically banded together, they grouped, and they started to work and collaborate. Something which was basically not possible before the program. And of course, that of learning and teaching was identified already as one key area because training and education is by far one of the most important strategy to achieve knowledge transfer and innovation in society, from basic research to innovation. So basically, the consortium that we are presenting today, it's managing a huge, basically, amount of research funding given by the European Research Recovery and Resilience Fund. We are bringing together 27 institutions and including also the researchers and the assistants that have been hired by the program, plus the volunteers, we bring together almost 1,000 people working on the 10 spokes, i.e. challenges that we have identified. I will focus basically on the activities related to the area of training and education that are conducted by our network. And of course, the purpose of the presentation is also to invite you to meet us and to understand what potential way of collaboration we might bring to your organization. Because our main goal, our purpose is to achieve, of course, increase the amount of theory and evidence that is produced by the research, aging research network in Italy, but also creating new prototypes and inventions to affect policies and to bring to the market new solutions and services. It is in the area of new solutions and services that I will introduce you just two of the main outputs of the research program, which is the so-called National PhD on Aging, which might be interesting, but most of all, and apologies for not having a lot of materials in English on this, but it's more like a heads up. I will, if you are interested, follow up with the documentation and links. The initiative that was set up by a group of researchers that volunteered basically to create a group working on learning, education, and active aging. So basically, a group of researchers wanted to set up a board that focus only on initiatives that are related to the setup, implementation, evaluation of training and education activities for seniors or for people that are aging, which means also younger people, but on topics related to healthy aging. And this actually includes a holistic approach. So basically, the board, which was set up 1 year ago, managed to implement a complete survey of of initiatives that in Italy are conducted and realized in the field of education and learning in older age, and created, thanks to this activity, a portfolio of over 120, of 50 main good practices of initiatives that are implemented both at municipal or the regional or national level in this area, so in that of lifelong learning, covering learning digital competencies, self-management of health, but also general lifelong learning experience in professional skills, in transversal skills. And this is one of the first, the most probably interesting outputs that we will release, because the database of the 50 good practices will be soon available online to all the stakeholders, also, of course, translated into English, not like my slide, which I apologize again, is not in English. Very briefly, I would also like to point out this second main achievement of the network, which is an initiative still undergoing, because we are more or less at the middle of the implementation of the program. and is the setup of a national, so-called national interest PhD program, which means basically that thanks to the activity also of the network, a further network between university research infrastructures and businesses has been created to set up a national PhD program aimed at training into a multidisciplinary innovation-based approach the new generation of Italian researchers and experts in the field of aging, which means that we are basically now training at a national level a group of new researchers coming from biomedical, psychological, and socio-demographic fields, identifying some horizontal knowledge and curricula, plus giving the possibility to of course, have vertical also approaches and curricula that can allow a further specialization according to the original background of the researcher. Very quickly, one of the initiative that we have been, again, sorry for the mixed languages that I'm using in my slides, but one of the initiatives that is still undergoing is the creation of a portal where basically all the knowledge generated, including the knowledge coming from these initiatives related to training, education, and learning, will be stored and fully assessed. Basically, we transformed a administrative task we had related to the use of European funds, which was that of periodical reporting, into an opportunity, because we created the wiki page where all the knowledge created by the 1,000 researchers working in the project is constantly updated, so also to ensure transparency in the process of research and in the use of funding, because of course we feel very, very deeply the responsibility for using such an amount of money that was something before the COVID experience, of course, unexpected in the research domain. But my last slide before opening up to maybe questions or other feedback, it's about the idea that is beyond the project. The program AGIT will try to basically be a reference point also in Europe for aging research, making Italy an empirical laboratory on aging process. So we're a place where you can test your hypothesis in an initiative and experimental ideas. But most of all, the idea is that Italy will be finally a country having its own Italian Institute of Aging. So basically, we will be transforming our structure into a network open for collaboration. We represent the access gateway to the Italian research network, open to all stakeholders, and also for all international stakeholders that are interested in collaboration in the area of aging. And of course, in this context, I'm focusing on aging education and learning, which is, I think, the most relevant touching point between our initiatives. Again, thanks for your attention and sorry for being late. This is the website of the project. We are, of course, on social media. You just type AGIT and you will be in touch with us. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you so much, Carlos, for your presentation. Also, I would like to ask to go along on your side to send to me the presentation because we need to share with the attendant of today. So please, even though it's not in our template, please share with me and it will be distributed to all the attendants.
Sure.
I don't know if there is any question about the presentations. I see at the beginning that Willik was asking for the memorandum of understanding link regarding Priority 45, so it could be nice if you could share. Also, Vittorio, if you could share the framework of that you mentioned in your presentation could be good, because maybe people could have a look after that. And I don't know if there is any question, specific question. There is a question from Madalena. about new EcoSmart platform, but we have not explained this today. Maybe Madalena, you could switch on your microphone and
Yes. I was just asking, as we go along in developing the tools of New EcoSmart and considering the training opportunities in interdisciplinary field that Carlos just illustrated, like the PhD program, I was wondering if we foresee that the NES tools can be also used for training purposes, not specifically targeting rural areas, because I think they are very flexible instruments also in the education environment, in several education environments.
yeah, of course, as any European project, the result could be used and could be have impact in different other target groups. So it's more than welcome if Carlos want to contact myself or any other partner of consortium to see how we could use the information and the result of New EcoSmart to create synergies with AH project.
Yeah, with the PhD program, because it's interdisciplinary and it could take a big advantage of the use of these tools. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, so thank you, Vittorio, because I see that you have shared the information. If there is no more question due to the fact that we are a little bit out of time due to the presentation, let's move for the second part. Let me 1 second to share my screen. Okay. The idea now is to, as I mentioned before in the beginning, is to try to discuss a little bit about two main topic related to training. The first one is training in rural areas, and the second one is training in adult plus 45. So as you can see here, there is a mural where I just put sticky notes that could support you in the discussion. Now, what we have to do is to split. You have to split and choose one of these two rooms. I have to say that the rooms are already open, so I will give you some time for discussion. You could choose, as I mentioned, room 1 is training in rural areas, and room 2 training in adult plus 45. So thank you for this this discussion or interactive session, and thank you, Juliana, because I think that there was a problem with with mural, so it was more difficult for the other session that I was not present on. Just I would like to make like a summary conclusion for everyone from my side, from the room that I have managed the training in rural areas. About the strategies, we could highlight some keywords like international approach, living lab, correct diagnosis for each of the areas, basic infrastructure, and face-to-face approach. From the other one, from the training in adults, maybe Juliana, you could say some keywords.
So we also talked about the differences between improving skills in rural areas and in big cities, but most of all we pointed out digital skills, also how to build confidence for these older adults that they are needed in their work. I don't know. We didn't give a keyword for it. Also, how to learn new languages, and this not from the part of the employers, but from the employees, and how they should learn how to give work conditions that are better for older adults to work. So having in mind their needs. Yeah, it was more or less this.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this final keynotes about the discussion. Just I want to be on time, so basically I would like to close this event in 2-3 minutes more. I'm going to share again my screen. I think now you are seeing it. So finally, I think that from today's webinar, we could conclude that training is a main pillar. It doesn't matter if we are talking about rural areas, workers, unemployed people, and even though the different ages. Because, for example, in the RAIN project, we are talking about young people. In Priority 45, we talk about plus 45 years old workers. So there are different kind of target group, but in all of them, for innovation, training is a pillar. Also, I think that we have discussed about the importance of training in digital skills, also in rural areas. We mentioned that, but as also in the plus 45 training session, as Juliana mentioned. And also, I think that in general, we could see that this webinar has engaged participants with valuable solution and point of view. You could see also in Zoom that I open a questionnaire. This questionnaire is just only for internal purpose to evaluate the webinar and to allow us to improve in future webinars. So it will be more than welcome if you could complete it. And just before finalizing, as I mentioned at the beginning, this webinar is set in under the framework of New EcoSmart project. So please, for the people that are out of consortium, I will recommend you to stay connected and updated about our project in our website, in our social media, and also if you have more specific questions, you could contact directly to me through my email. So just before going and finalize this event, I would like to ask you to switch on your cameras to take a photo. If it's possible. I know that some people is already out because they have another meeting, but it could be nice if you could put your cameras. So maybe Juliana, you could take some photos for our social media. You are mute.
Can you stop sharing?
Sorry, I think I have been stopped. Sorry.
Okay, let me try now. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, so smile. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you so much for all the attendance, also for the speaker that present their project or their methodologies. And I just wish you a nice day and a good end of the week. Thank you so much.